week's Will G's Bears breakdown. We have a very, very good episode for you, but you guys aren't going to like what you're hearing. I am not a happy camper, so stay tuned to see how pissed off I get. Let's start by breaking down the one thing that makes me want to throw up the most, the offense. Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky continue to disappoint Bear fans all around the world with their disgusting offense. It makes me want to puke when I watch them go out there and perform. They had 54 passing attempts and 7 rushing attempts for 17 yards. 7 rushing attempts on Walter Payton night. What would Walter Payton say about this? He would be so disappointed. 7 rushing attempts. The offensive line definitely has many running issues, and I understand why we're not running it nearly as much as we have in the past, but you cannot get a passing game going when you have no running game. You have to get in rhythm and balance out the offense. It's disgusting. And how are we going to know that the offensive line has improved run blocking if we're not running the ball? We don't know if they have. Give it a go. Marlon Mack got shut down on the first 5 plays of the game against the Texans, and then he continued. They stuck with him. You stick with it. You don't give up. Speaking of not giving up, here, listen to this clip from Matt Nagy in his press conference on Monday.
All right, guys, so I really couldn't get the audio to work on this video for some reason, but in the interview, he got asked why in the first half he passed the ball 25 times compared to 5 runs, and he said some little weak-ass excuse about how on his first couple runs they only picked up 1 to 2 yards, and that caused 2nd and 9s and 2nd and 10s, which I understand, but I'm going to completely tell you why that excuse is a bunch of BS here in about 3 seconds. So you're wrong, Matt Nagy.
Nagy, if you're so worried about running the ball on 2nd and 8 and 2nd and 9, I understand that, but explain this one to me. With 6:10 left in the second quarter, you got the ball back. You picked up 8 yards on first down, and that gave it 2nd and 2. You proceeded to pass the ball on 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 2, not resulting in a first down. You punted it then to the Saints, and you got lucky that the Saints missed a field goal, and you were blessed with great field position with 2 minutes left. Guess what you did on that drive? You picked up 8 more yards on first down, and then you didn't learn from your mistakes. You proceeded to pass it on 2nd and 3rd down again. Run the ball. You have 2 yards to go. 2 yards, 2 plays on back-to-back drives, and you could not pick it up. That is absolutely disgusting. It is on Trubisky, too, for not getting the ball to his playmakers, even though Trey Burton did drop a pass on one of those plays. So it's on Mitch, too, but run the ball. I'm so happy that we traded up for David Montgomery to do absolutely nothing with him. 2 attempts. He had 2 of our 7 attempts. Our wide receivers also had a total of 2 attempts rushing the ball. Run the ball. You traded up for this guy. Use him. Don't think I didn't forget about you, Mitch. You missing wide open passes time and time again makes me want to absolutely vomit all over the place. Projectile vomit everywhere. It is so hard and frustrating watching this offense work because John Fox at least drove the ball down the field. Allen Robinson is the only guy that this dude looks at. He doesn't even hit Anthony Miller wide open. Anthony Miller is one of the best route runners on this team, and he gets open a lot. But we somehow don't know how to find him for some reason. Yeah, I do think that he needs to pull his head out of his ass sometimes. Him fumbling the other day was huge. We need that, him running a couple missed routes and a couple miscues. It's hard to defend a player like that, but he gets open all the time, and you have to hit those players, Mitch. Now that we got the offense out of the way, let's talk about something that doesn't make me want to throw up, our defense. First half, they only gave up a total of 12 points, 2 of which came off a safety, until the second half, where they exploded for 24 second half points. Latavius Murray should not be rushing for 120 yards on us. They didn't even have Alvin Kamara. You can tell how much it impacts us not having Akeem Hicks. But you want to know what also impacts this defense? When it's out there on the field 15 more minutes than the offense. Yes, a whole quarter more than the offense. The Saints had the ball for 37 minutes, and we held the ball for 22 minutes. That is awful. The offense is not helping our defense out in any way whatsoever. These guys are tired. They cannot produce turnovers and stop the run when it's coming at them way more than they're on the sidelines. The offense needs to be able to put a drive together to help out this defense. Otherwise, this is how it's going to be all year, folks. One last thing I want to talk about before we get into what's up next for the Bears. I want to talk about the Bears punt team. Chris Tabor needs to take a serious look at that punt team. They had 2 punts that were blocked and or tipped. That is awful. And I've noticed in many weeks past that they have been so close to blocking punts, it was only a matter of time, and they got to us twice this week. Not only did they block us twice, they had a punt return for a touchdown that was negated by a ticky-tacky holding call. It should have been 7 points. They cannot tackle. Yes, granted, the Saints returner is a very good returner, and Cordero Patterson is one of the best flyers, but we need to figure out who we have up front because they are getting through time and time again, leaving Pat O'Donnell very little time to get the ball off. That needs to be looked at. So I bet you guys are all thinking right now, what's next for the Chicago Bears? It's plain and simple. It's nut up or shut up time. You have the very, very, very struggling Chargers and the very injured Chargers coming into Soldier Field next week. You better dominate them in all phases. It should not be a game. Yeah, the Chargers I thought were going to be a good team, and they still have a solid offense with Melvin Gordon, Eckler, Allen, and Rivers, who can beat us. And, you know, we all slept on the Saints with no Kamara and no Jared Cook and no Drew Brees, but they killed us. So it's time to wake up. Look in the mirror, get the job done, find out what is going wrong. I don't care what you have to do to run the ball. I don't care if you have to run it 20 times just to pick up 20 yards. Run the ball. After the Chargers, you then head to Philly. It's a revenge game. You should go in there pissed off about what happened last season. And you should go in there pissed off about what's happening this season. You really want to beat good teams, you have to play like a good team. And that's not what they did on Sunday against the Saints. Then you got the Lions coming back to Soldier Field, and that's a divisional game, and that is a very tough and good team, and that is a team that you have to beat, and then you go to LA. You have to go 3-1 over these next 4 games, or you can go ahead and kiss this season goodbye. People are saying, oh, well, the Bears were 3-3 this time last year. Yeah, but the Packers weren't 6-1, and the Vikings weren't 5-2. Wake up, Chicago. And that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Will G's Bears Breakdown. Next time I see you guys on this episode, I hope I am bringing you some better news, and I hope I am in a way better mood than I was today. Make sure you leave a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for my Will G's weekly football talk, where I talk about the NFL as a whole. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and bear down.